your city. It's your man, Big Pat, the voice of your Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to the All Hornets Podcast Network, presented by Sports Illustrated.
It's done.
Connor McDavid! It's not real!
The goal of the year,
Panarin!
part of the past. The celebrations, forgotten. The history,
Vegas Golden Knights!
history. We're back to a blank slate. Clean ice. All that matters now is what happens next. The Stanley Cup playoffs.
Eastern Conference Final begins Wednesday.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Jewelry isn't a gift you give just once. It's a way to remind your loved one of a beautiful moment every time they see it. Blue Nile can help you find the gift that says how you feel and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com to find the perfect jewelry gift for any occasion. BlueNile.com.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
You are listening to the Hornets and Heartbreak podcast on the All Hornets Podcast Network. One podcast feed with multiple shows making sure we cover the Charlotte Hornets from every angle. If you like what you hear, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. The All Hornets Podcast is affiliated with the Fans First Sports Podcast Group. On today's show, we do a game of start, bench, cut with several relevant Hornets players, all your favorite Hornets players. And then Tim and I just kind of talk about the playoffs. It is the off season. Today is April 30th, so not too much news. Coaching hires incoming. Look out for our lottery show dropping live after the lottery. Hornets going number 1, I believe. Hello and welcome to the Hornets and Heartbreak podcast. My name is Mark Bernacki, and I'm here with my co-host, Tim Rogers. What's up, Tim?
What it do, Liquor Mark?
I'm doing pretty well, man. So we are in the playoff season, or as it's known for Hornets fans, the off season. And we're going to talk about the playoffs a little bit at the end of the podcast, but we wanted to come in with some content that is going to be evergreen content, something you can listen to in a few months. So we're going to play a friendly game of start, bench, cut to start off our off-season podcast content. Yeah, Tim, let's just fire it off. First one, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham. Who you starting? LaMelo, who you starting, benching, and cutting?
All right, so let's throw the clarification in. Are we talking for right now, or are we talking careers? Just for the audience, to speak with.
I mean, I think we're talking for careers.
Okay, that's what I did this under. I'm
not
still
like careers up until now. I think we're talking about for the next
5 years.
the next 5 years.
I'm starting LaMelo Ball.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to justify with a fan, but what I'm thinking is Maxey right now, I would say, is the best player. I'll admit it. Been tearing it up, but Maxey is not a 6'7" point guard who has the skills LaMelo can do. Can't really teach that, and for that reason, I still think LaMelo has the highest upside right now. Starting LaMelo, benching Maxey, cutting Cade Cunningham.
Okay, so we both agree on cutting Cade Cunningham. I tried not to be a homer with these picks. Try not to just be a Hornets diehard. Not saying that that's what you're doing, Tim. I could get behind the start LaMelo Ball, but that's not what I have written down. So I'm got to stick to my guns here. Tyrese Maxey starting, averaging 26 points per game this year, coming off an All-Star season. 2 years ago, I think the choice was obvious, and it was LaMelo. And this is also just a rare moment where I'm like lower on LaMelo than you. This never happens. But yeah, I mean, at this moment, I'd have to ride with Tyrese. He's not having a great playoffs, which doesn't hurt or like hurts my case. This case was made like a few days ago. And he's not really carrying the burden of supporting the 76ers in the fourth quarter. And we're recording on Tuesday. This take might even look worse on Thursday when this episode's released. But yeah, I think that at this moment you have to ride with Tyrese. LaMelo still has more upside due to, like you said, his height and his elite passing ability, but Tyrese is just more consistent, and he's been good more recently. He's been better than LaMelo's ever been for like a stretch that LaMelo hasn't obtained.
Ooh, I disagree with that.
Okay, what okay, we could say like a 10-game sample LaMelo's been better than a 10-game sample of Tyrese. I'm talking about like
I would say the second half of LaMelo's sophomore year better than Tyrese Maxey's been.
second half of this year.
Second half of LaMelo's sophomore year.
But second half of this year of Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I mean, I did want to go. I was really hoping that the stats back it up. He's actually been awesome without Joel Embiid. His like personal statistics, he's still at 26 and 6 when he doesn't play. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a case that like it's not like Maxey is just blown away any stretch, like even sustained stretch that LaMelo's had.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is just injuries, and the lack of certainty around LaMelo Ball's injuries. I think he would be the clear start if it weren't for games played being a factor in this decision. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard take. It's a hard take to get behind. I appreciate that you're giving the counterpoint, Tim, because I want to say LaMelo Ball, but yeah, I mean like. 26 points per game, LaMelo's never done that. He's never done that. And he's a way better passer. But I don't know, man. I think that Maxey this year is definitely better than LaMelo in his sophomore year.
I mean, I guess so. It's not like, once Embiid went out, I mean, they did fall into the play-in. It's not like he was out there just crushing the league. I mean, Maxey is a better scorer. Maxey is better than I've given him credit for in the past. And honestly, I'm a LaMelo hater, I would say, as far as Hornet fans go. But I don't know, something about it. I had like a little come to Jesus moment when so I've been thinking about this for like a week. And I don't know, maybe I'm just still holding on to optimism that LaMelo's going to play 70 games next year and lead a top 10 offense. So I think he can do it. But I don't know, I think that if we were not Hornet fans, I don't think this is a discussion. Honestly, I think that a good amount of regular NBA fans would probably be cutting LaMelo and even having Cade above.
Yeah. So on that point, we haven't mentioned Cade at all. He was our clear cut for both of us. And I mean, dude, he hasn't won more than 23 games in 3 seasons in the league. His second season was cut short. But I mean, he's a worse 3-point shooter, a worse passer than LaMelo. One thing that he has going for him is that he doesn't have as bad of an injury history as LaMelo, but like barely.
Yes, it's still not great. And they're like the age, even though they're 1 year drafted apart. I think it's like a 2-month gap.
Yeah, but LaMelo's won games before. Cade hasn't won games. Like I don't really think it's like that big of a question, honestly. I think that the national media hating on LaMelo because he's been injured would lead people to the belief that maybe Cade Cunningham is better than LaMelo, but I don't think that's true at all.
I don't think it's true either. I do think it was just worth bringing up. Yeah, I mean, like you look Cade, like, okay, 55% true shooting, still below league average, pretty weak free throw rate. I don't know. People have pitched, Nate Jones on Twitter was like, Cade is a tertiary creator, secondary creator, way more appealing. And I could kind of see that. I could see Cade fitting in best on like if he was the second guy out of all these guys. I could see Cade actually being awesome at that. Different question, of course. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, he still just seems so slow to me every time I watch. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't got the right games. But yeah, it just always seems like such a struggle for him to be the number one guy.
And I mean, dude, what right game has there been in 3 seasons? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know. If you're better than LaMelo Ball, then let's see like one season where you win 25 games.
I think 25 games is pretty fair. Not everyone can win 43 games like our boy LaMelo, but those Pistons teams are worse than the Hornets, even though they swept it here.
Yeah, but I mean, if you swap Brandon Miller with Cade, are the Pistons like so much worse this year?
Oh man, that's a great when you put it like that.
I mean, how can you be so good and this team be so bad? I just can't buy into it at all.
That is a pretty good point. I mean, but you could have made the same case about, and again, I think that Sky is better, but you could have made the same case about Devin Booker after 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Fair counterpoint. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's get on to the next one, Tim. This one is a little bit more obscure. Grant Williams, PJ Washington, and Patrick Williams. Start, bench, cut. Who you got?
I'm going to start PJ Washington.
Oh, come on.
And cut Patrick Williams. I know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's hear your case, the incorrect case.
Okay. Another thing I've been pondering about. PJ Washington at his best is better than Grant Williams at his best. He's just more athletic. He can catch fire in the same way. I think that his ceiling is higher, but I think that Grant Williams hits his ceiling pretty consistently. And I find him more enjoyable. I would rather have him on the Hornets right now than the, up and down PJ Washington. But I think realistically, they did just get traded for each other, and the Mavericks attached a first round pick.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely still won that trade regardless of your take here. I think you're just wrong. He scored more points than PJ, scored more efficiently than PJ. In his tenure with the Hornets were basically the same team, wins and losses wise before and after that trade. I mean, he's incredibly efficient on offense. I don't think he's that much worse on defense. And add in the fact that he actually looks like he's trying. Like you said, he's more enjoyable to watch than PJ Washington. I'm not saying I sound like a massive PJ hater here. Dude's just gotten worse at shooting threes every year. He's blown a couple games for the Mavs, both defensively and missing shots. I'd way rather have Grant Williams.
Okay, counterpoint. The Celtics kind of couldn't wait to get Grant Williams out of the door, and he was so annoying on the Mavericks, they traded him in 3 months.
This is fair. Maybe not the best locker room guy. Maybe not the best at chess. But on the basketball court, Tim, it's Grant Williams.
I like Grant Williams. I enjoy watching Grant Williams more than PJ Washington. His tenure on the Hornets, I found to be really enjoyable. I even admitted to liking the way his jump shot looks. I'm in the tank for Grant Williams. I just think that PJ is going to be in the contender blender for the next 5 to 10 years of contenders just being like, man, we're one piece away, kind of a versatile wing that can shoot. And they're just going to cycle out PJ Washington for the next 5 to 10 years, continue to be disappointed, taking over Jay Crowder's mantle. And I don't know. I think they're close players, but athletically, PJ is better. Grant Williams, I would say, actually takes a charge and is in good defensive position. But yeah, I mean, it was a first round pick. It just happened.
Grant Williams might not be good at chess, but he is the smarter player, Tim. That's what I'm going to say about that.
I think that's fair. Any Patrick Williams thoughts? Have you ever seen a Patrick Williams hat?
Never seen one. He is from Charlotte, so got to give him some love. But yeah, he's getting cut from this mix.
Yeah. All right.
Next
what
up.
What about next, Mark?
Brandon Miller, Jalen Green, Franz Wagner. Who you got, Tim?
I'm starting Brandon Miller. I'm
Let's
benching Franz, and I'm sadly cutting my man, Jalen Green.
All right, first time we've aligned here, Tim. I had Brandon Miller in all caps. I might be being a homer, but I don't really think so. I think that his upside is just absolutely massive. Efficient scorer in his rookie year in the league. Looks like an NBA player already. Has size to develop defensively. Yeah, I think that Brandon Miller is gonna turn into something that's better than Franz Wagner for sure. I think the more interesting discussion is on the bench cut actually between Franz and Jalen Green.
Oh,
I went with bench Franz as well. He has more size and slightly like more consistent, more efficient player than Jalen Green. Jalen Green's good. I like Jalen Green, but he's streaky. Hasn't fully figured it out yet in the league. This year the Rockets were a cute story, but I feel like I'd just rather have Franz due to defensive upside and the fact that Jalen Green it's just like he's yet to be determined if he's actually like going to be a winning player.
yeah. He's gotten out of the holy shit, is this guy going to be Deion Waiters territory that he was in the first like 2 months of the year? Yeah, I guess it's a ceiling upside. I've kind of always loved Franz ever since the first time we played them his rookie year. I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. Like he's already better than Gordon Hayward as a rookie. Yeah, I guess it's a ceiling versus floor thing where like Franz is already like the second best player on an established playoff team. Granted, in the East versus the West, Rockets were soaring there for a second, but I don't know. I think there's a world where Jalen Green, like if he hits, is just like unbelievable, kind of like in a Devin Booker mold. His first step is insane. But yeah, I mean, Franz right now is just like a really good, positive NBA player. Like, third best, fourth best player on I guess I would say fourth best player on like a championship team right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And we both agree that Brandon Miller just has way more upside than both these players, so we're taking him first.
He does, even though he's a little old, but not like, he's not 25.
Yeah.
Or anything. But
just
yeah, definitely old for his class. A little old.
This podcast is brought to you by allhornets.com, a credentialed Charlotte Hornets outlet powered by Sports Illustrated. Allhornets.com's aim is to bring you 360-degree coverage on all things Charlotte Hornets, from breaking news, rumors, fan Q&As, just how bad we are, and in-depth analysis. Allhornets.com's aim is to cover it all, and nobody does it better. All right, next up on our list, we have Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Ariana Grande. Oh, shit. No, that's the wrong list. All right, Mark Williams, Walker Kessler, and Jalen Duren. Who you got?
Woo, I have them in that inverse order. Mark is Jalen Duren getting the start, Kessler hitting the bench, and our boy, our sacred son, Mark Williams, hitting the streets. He's cut.
All right, I had Jalen Duren also starting, averaging 14 and 12. I had cut Walker Kessler and bench Mark Williams, so I had Mark Williams above Walker Kessler in this exercise. Walker Kessler, low-key just a down sophomore season, was expected to maybe be the best of these three after their respective rookie seasons, but that hasn't been the case. He just was down across the board. I'm still going to take Mark Williams' upside and his stretches of pretty good play with the Hornets, even though he was hurt the whole year. I don't know, Tim. I think you might be letting his injury get in the way of your take here.
Mark, when a 7-footer hurts his back, it's not really a good sign. But also, just level of play, they've been there. Defensive field goals within 5 feet of the basket. Mark Williams, his defensive field goal percentage allowed, 66%. Walker Kessler, 51%. It's a pretty big sample size. Obviously not the end of the world. Williams, is pretty much played one full season combined and starting minutes, really only 30 games. But, both of their best attributes are its rim protection. And one is a better rim protector, and he is actually healthy.
You make a good case, Tim. I might be being a homer, but counting stats wise, Mark Williams is better. Okay, so and offensively, he's also better.
He is better offensively, and when he's going up against a center that is 6'8", he is one of the most dominant players in the NBA. Anytime he has to play an actual NBA quality center, somehow ends up being very disappointing. Obviously, his upside is higher. He's a much, even after back surgery or, whatever he ends up doing, will still be a better athlete than Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler kind of got a raw deal getting paired with John Collins for a lot, kind of the story of John Collins' career. But no, I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying it's not close, but right now, yeah, I think Walker Kessler is just better.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna ride it out with Mark Williams for the reasons I said. Offensively better, more athletic upside, and I think he can figure it out on the defensive end. But you're right that when he goes up against a really good center, it's not a good game for him, and that's concerning.
Not great, but that being said, we were good when he was healthy last year. I mean, good by Hornets standards. Not exactly setting the league on fire, and I hope he comes back and is healthy. The back injury is pretty scary, but at least we didn't trade away Jalen Duren.
All right. Yeah, he's winning that contest at the moment. Did you have Mark Williams or Jalen Duren higher?
I had Mark Williams higher.
Yeah. Okay.
I was, and I can still see the vision, but it was tough when Jalen Duren pretty much came out in like the second week, had a 15-15 game. I was like, oh, maybe being a freak athlete does translate to the NBA pretty smoothly. I kind of overthought that one.
Yeah. Might be a tough look for us a couple years from now.
It was just people talking about like, oh my God, have you seen his reads on the short roll? I was like, calm down here, guy.
That was the nerdiest thing you've said on this podcast, I think, Tim.
I wasn't saying that's like, I don't know. That's what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, where I'm really trying to keep the draft takes at bay, because I feel like the deeper into the draft world I get, like I go away from my gut and just overthink things and mess it up. And that's what I did. So keeping our distance.
All right, next up on the list, the rest of them are just funny. Star bench cut: Cody Martin, Caleb Martin, and Kenyon Martin Jr., the third Martin twin.
Going Caleb, then Kenyon, and then Cody.
Whoa! Wait, you're putting Kenyon Martin Jr. above Cody?
Straight up, because his dad was one of my favorite players.
Okay. To be clear, Cody is the objectively better NBA player. It's bench Cody. It's Kenyon Martin Jr. But yeah, sad that we drafted Cody Martin in the second round and signed Caleb Martin as an undrafted free agent. Just never really believed in him, and now he's having an impact on a winning team, or he did last year at least.
Yeah, hey, he was very good in game 2 as well. Got to give him his flowers. Definitely the only Miami Heat player I will ever root for.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next up, Tim. Edmund Sumner, James Bouknight, Teo Maledon. I call this the ghost of Hornets point guard past.
I'm going, starting Teo, no question. Got Sumner on the bench, and Bouknight hit the streets.
Okay. Starting Teo Maledon, who shot 16% on threes this year and 28% from the floor this season.
You know what I hear when I hear that, Mark? I hear a man who's due.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, we had this whole offseason debate between Edmund Sumner and Teo Maledon. That's like the stupidest shit of all time on this podcast, arguing about two players that don't matter at all. But yeah, I'm starting my boy Sumner. He never got his chance. All right. And we're going to talk about it more. We have nothing to talk about. So Edmund Sumner, dude, he showed a lot of upside in his brief minutes. And I'm upset. That he didn't get his chance this year, Tim.
Yeah, we're going to leave all the draft stuff to James and Chase, and we're just crunching Sumner. It's the summer of Sumner, dude.
we are going to dive into his high school highlights. All right, we're gonna get deep, so stay tuned. Yeah, it's bench James Bouknight. It's cut Teo Maledon. Like I bench James Bouknight because of just how atrocious Maledon was in his minutes for the Hornets.
Yeah. That's sorry, it made me laugh there. Really got me. Have you seen the James Bouknights just like hanging out at UConn?
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know what he's doing, man. Do you think he's going to be in the league next year?
No, he sucks.
Kai Jones got a chance.
Yeah, Kai Jones is still one of the best athletes in the league. James Booknight is one of the worst summer league players of all time. I mean, dude, he sucks. He like it's sad for him. Like, again, hope he gets the help that he needs and he's all right and can recover. But like, he just like was not good at basketball. Could not finish, could not dribble, could not shoot, could not defend. He was the worst player that's played for us in a minute. With draft intact. But yeah, no, kind of weird. I guess he's still like, of age and he could be in college, but definitely getting the vibe of the dudes that's, hanging out with high school kids after his senior year.
I still got hope for him. Just a little bit. Just a little bit in there.
Honestly, I hope it happens. That would be a sick story. If like 4 years from now, after he played in Croatia for a little bit, comes back and it's kind of like Mike James and just tears it up for a year, I'm rooting for him.
All right, last one. This is the Serbian mix. All right, we got Micic, Pokachevsky, and Nikola Jokic. Who you starting?
Easy. Micic, Jokic, and then Poku hitting the streets.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had to go with start Nikola Jokic. I don't know. I just think that his like offensive rebounding ability slightly ekes him out over Micic. And then with bench Micic, got Pokachevsky.
Got a point though. Micic has never been swept in the playoffs.
That's true. That's true. Actually, yeah, I'm retaking my take. I'm redoing my take on the podcast. Start Micic, bench Poku, and we're cutting Jokic for that sweep. That's what we're doing on this one.
Who do you think would do more damage to the Hornets? Jokic twice a year, or if Poku played 82 games for us?
That's a great question. Probably Poku playing 82 games.
Yeah.
I love you just tried to unironically start Micic. I love that. For us.
I mean, when you do what he did for a 25 game sample size, that's the type of thing you remember. Best late season addition since Mo Williams.
Yeah, and I mean, who's gonna remember Nikola Jokic at the end of the
day? Yeah, I mean, a ton of guys have won 3 MVPs, but who turned the Hornets around? Who won 3 in a row with the Hornets?
Okay, all right. The last segment we're gonna do here is just general NBA playoff spitballing. So Tim, this used to be a start bench cut. Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and it was just sad that I couldn't make that one of the ones that we could do today. That's really the whole theme, is that I'm just sad that he's not on the same level as those two players. Watching the playoffs, that's all I can think about when I see those two guys playing. And Halliburton has kind of sucked. I'm not going to go ahead and say that Halliburton's some amazing player, but unfortunately, Anthony Edwards is way fucking better than LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, this is kind of like one of those, like, Chris Paul, Darren Williams, who you got? And then it's like, oh, remember Sean Livingston with the Clippers? Like, that's where LaMelo's at right now. He's just totally in conversation. It's a bummer. But Anthony Edwards, I hate how much he's won me over, dude. How can he not be like your favorite NBA player?
Because he's not, man. Because he was in the same draft class as LaMelo Ball. Because I still hold on to this pain of 2 years ago. I remember when Anthony Edwards was making some noise in the playoffs against the Grizzlies, and like I came on the podcast and was like, "Listen, this isn't anything. Like this is not a reason to have him above LaMelo Ball." Like, just because LaMelo didn't make the playoffs doesn't mean Anthony Edwards is a better player than LaMelo Ball. And I was so wrong, Tim. I was so wrong. It hurts.
It's okay. It's the time. It was like, dude, they lost in 6 games. Big deal. Like, who really cares? Thinking about that series, as you know, I was never really bought in on the Ja Morant hype. Just like as a player, Anthony Edwards is like what people were talking about with Ja Morant a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, because he can actually shoot. Like he is like, I get like how everyone was feeling back then watching Anthony Edwards, I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Like, and every press conference too, just totally won me over. He's like the anti-LaMelo, really just out there caring about basketball, being a cool guy. And he's fantastic. All that Kevin Durant shit talk, the blocking Booker at the rim to stop him getting 50, that dunk on Beal was insane. 19 in the fourth quarter. He's unbelievable.
Okay, so we're starting Anthony Edwards, we're benching Tyrese Halliburton, and we're cutting LaMelo Ball.
There's still time, you know?
This is a sad, 4 years in, fuck your fourth year player edition of, of that segment that we used to do. Anthony Edwards has been amazing. Can't wait to see that series against the Nuggets. Want to talk shit about Tyrese Halliburton for a little bit though?
Yeah, really, really thankful that he has not had like some sensational playoff run.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Pacers are up 3-1. Game 4 is tonight on Tuesday. You guys will hear this on Thursday. But yeah, in that first game when he had 7 points, I was really enjoying it. I was watching game 3. Yeah, game 3 live. And I was trying to pinpoint why I just hated the Pacers so much. And yeah, I think it's the fact that people talk about Tyrese Halliburton like he's like some amazing player, like all NBA buzz for him. And I just like, I don't know. He's Malcolm Brogdon, but better.
He does seem like one of those guys that's destined to just like dominate December.
Yeah.
For the next 6 years. Like, oh my God, 16 assists, 0 turnovers. And then just kind of consistently be like, oh yeah, he's the 13th best guard. He's the 8th best guard. Like, I don't know. Not that I don't take him seriously. He's fine, but you can definitely see his limitations in the playoffs. Like Pascal Siakam has been their best player, which shout out to the Pascal Siakam renaissance, man. What a time.
I think in this day and age in the NBA, if you're not able to like score for yourself at a super high level, you're not going to be one of the best players in the NBA. And Tyrese Halliburton's skill set is passing. He's a good passer, very good passer. Very good passer. But yeah, he leaves a lot to be desired in the self-creation zone of basketball.
Yeah, in the same way we always talk about Melo, it's like, like it sounds dumb and it sounds like, ball don't lie Twitter, but you just kind of need to have someone that can get to the rim in the last two. And, not to just continue to talk about Anthony Edwards, but that dude's getting to the rim whenever he wants. All the best players can. That's why Jason Tatum has never truly been that guy. And yeah, like Tyrese is fine. I mean, I still think there's a world where like 2 years from now, LaMelo is considered a better player. Like that's not a case closed.
No, it's not. Yeah, and that's sort of, I guess, the point I wanted to make here is that it is definitely bench Tyrese Halliburton, cut LaMelo, right?
Yes.
But it's not over. Whereas Anthony Edwards, I would bet my life that he is going to be the start in this exercise.
Yeah, I could see, assuming they beat the Bucks, if he has like a really rough series against the Knicks, like not next year, but the next season, I could see people start to turn on Tyrese.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forecasting deep into the future, but these analytical darlings, when it turns for them, like the whole internet piles up on them.
Yeah.
And so I'm rooting for this 23-year-old to have a bad year.
Okay, word. What's been your favorite series?
Favorite series with Nuggets Lakers.
Okay, interesting take. Super close. Jamal Murray two buzzer beater wins. I think it's probably got to be Mavs Clippers for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm interested to see how Luka responds in Game 5.
Yeah, that series is it's had the most convenient time slots and kind of been one of my least favorite series to watch. The comeback was sick. Like Kyrie had been cooking, which is awesome. And Paul George on fire in the first half was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just not a Luka guy. I want to be. It seems like a fun time. Just really leaves me cold.
I mean, he's been bad in the past past couple games are like not up to his usual standards. But yeah, man, I like Luka. This series, like the history of this series, the past two times these two teams have played was so sick. Yeah, so I don't know. I've enjoyed watching that one, I think, the most.
I think that's a good point. I think that's part of the reason I haven't enjoyed it so much or as much is just because of how amazing the bubble series was, and then the next year.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm holding it to some unfair standards. And Kawhi is like my favorite player out of that series, and obviously, just injured minutes or not playing. I like that. The Pelicans, I've just enjoyed watching the Thunder, but yeah, that's been a pretty ugly series. Glad that's over.
Yeah. All right, who you got in all the next series? Let's go OKC versus winner of Clippers Mavs.
I think OKC will win in like 5 games.
All right, I'm going Mavs overall. All those 3 teams, yeah.
Really?
All right. Yeah. Not a believer
into
yet.
The Mavs?
Not a believer yet.
Why are you so into the Mavs?
I'm just picking them over the Clippers, and then I'm picking them over OKC. Is that? I mean, I don't know. I think if the Clippers win that series, I think I might pick the Clippers against OKC too.
Man, you've been down on OKC. You've been down on OKC all year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who's right, won't we?
Can I share a take from off the podcast that you had?
Okay, yeah, but real quick, let me explain myself. Is that I just don't trust young teams in the playoffs. Like, I need to see it first. It's an old man take, but I'm not going to pick OKC to make the Western Conference Finals. I don't care that they're the 1 seed. You've seen this story before. SGA, I think he's great. I think that he's not really like a top 3 player or whatever. And yeah, I just don't believe it. I think that either the Mavs or Clippers should be favored against them.
Wow. Dude, the Clippers without Kawhi favored against Okay. Well, I'm gonna share this. This is a safe place. Mark, you called me before the play-in and we're like, am I crazy? I would take the Lakers and the Warriors over the Thunder.
Yeah, this was months ago.
It's like within the last month.
No. I remember exactly when that was months ago. That was a couple months ago.
That was not a couple months ago. That was this year.
Dude, yeah, exactly. It's 2024. I called you like in like February or something. I remember. I was dude, that might have even been like January. But
why do you lie like this, Mark?
I mean, I'm being dead honest. You know that was not like within the past few weeks.
Not few. I think that was within the last 5 weeks.
It wasn't. I remember where I was when I had that take because I was surprised at how against it you were, and I was like, all right, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I would I would still take the Lakers over OKC.
It's just weird. They just like steamrolled the Pelicans. You're like, yeah, I'm just not buying it.
I don't like the Pelicans either. That is a trash series.
That is a trash series. There's no Kawhi Leonard, and Luka already looks tired. And is Kyrie Irving going to do this for like the entire playoffs?
Yes.
Well, considering the rest of its playoffs might just be 2 more games, that's highly possible.
Yeah, I have no real analysis to back this up, except I don't buy it. That's my analysis. I don't buy it.
I like it. Stick to your guns. I have no issue with that. Again, sometimes you just got to go with the gut. And I don't know. I'm into OKC, man. I
do love the vibes. I do love the vibes. They scream Memphis Grizzlies. That's what it is. They scream Memphis Grizzlies from last year.
Yeah, but they're better than the Grizzlies.
Okay.
Their offense is better. They have more creators. Chet is better than Jaren Jackson Jr. and Shea is better than John Morant.
Yeah. Okay.
And no Dylan Brooks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Who do you have? Wolves, Nuggets.
Nuggets. Gotta go Nuggets. I think that it's just gonna be. This is like, I mean, that's Ant's moment, right? If he can even bring that to 6, that's impressive.
I think it's going 6.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a believer in the T-Wolves before. So like, I thought the Suns were gonna win, like I think a lot of people did. And so like they just continue to shock me every game. And maybe I'm an idiot. Like maybe 6 is not impressive, but I mean, I don't know. I think the Nuggets are the best team ever. So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. I mean, 6, that's a bold statement. I think it probably will go 6, but like I'm saying that even bringing it 6 is impressive.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I do think this Nuggets team is awesome. Yeah, I'm feeling Nuggets in 6. This is definitely, I think, is going to be. I don't know, like whenever you say like, oh man, this is like the finals in the second round, I feel like it's always like leads to a disappointing series. But I do think these are the two best teams in the playoffs.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's the series. That's the series to watch. And I mean, it might be the Celtics, but yeah, I agree that that's by far the best series on the docket for this next round.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're both taking the Nuggets. So what is it? Celtics versus the winner of Cleveland and Orlando.
Yeah, Celtics in 5.
Yeah, yeah, gotta be so. I mean, like if Orlando wins, I mean they don't have the offense.
Yeah.
I know that they've been good against Cleveland, like that's cool. The Celtics, I think, just kind of a different animal. Would you have any thoughts on the Cleveland Orlando series?
Zero thoughts. I have no thoughts at all.
It's always so cool when those series come on and people are like, oh man, like real basketball fans will appreciate that. And like there hasn't been a single like watchable minute of that entire series.
Yeah.
So like, I cannot wait for it to be over. Every time it's on TV, I'm just like, oh my God, please anything else.
I guess the other one is gonna be Pacers and Knicks. I mean, I'm holding out like I'll give it a slight chance that either the Bucks or 76ers make a little comeback here. But yeah, probably Knicks, Pacers.
Yeah, I'm a.
Also a brutal series, I think.
I was just about to like, after making fun of people, the real hoop heads, I kind of am intrigued by Indiana, New York.
Nah, Knicks in 5.
Man, you think so? I've really enjoyed watching the Knicks, man. I can't believe Jalen Brunson is this good. That's so cool.
Yeah. I think it was Rosillo who had this take. No, I don't know who it was. No. Chris Vernon had this take like, are we all just like wrong about him and that he's actually just like turning into Steph Curry before our eyes? And like maybe.
Steph is crazy, but like, yeah, maybe he just like is a legitimately like a top 10 player. Like I've seen people with the Isaiah Thomas Celtics comps, and like in this, like I get it in the way that there's like I don't know if visceral is the right word, but like it doesn't feel real. But I mean, at a certain point, like, yeah, if Jalen Brunson does this next year, he's a top 10 NBA player. It doesn't make sense, but it's there.
Okay, but I would posit this. We're talking about SGA. SGA has one dominant year, right?
No, SGA was amazing last year.
Okay. Yeah, with the playing OKC. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying he's Steph Curry, but like he's not Isaiah Thomas. He's in between. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, but it is weird when it happens. Like I do remember that, like, Steph was always good, but then it wasn't until that Nuggets series and you're like, oh my God, like, but he can't continue to shoot like this, like at that crazy level, something off. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if Brunson just goes to the Eastern Conference Finals, there's something sustainable about his game as well, where like it doesn't feel as though it's just like, oh man, he got super hot from 3. Oh, it's like free throws. Like that guy just kind of gets good shots all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, with him, he's also young enough that like it's not the Isaiah Thomas thing, right? Like this is just kind of his trajectory after that run with the Mavs in the playoffs, right? Like nobody expected him to be as good last year, but I mean, he has done it for 2 years, and this year he's remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess it really did all start in that playoff run against God, I'm keep wanting to call him Denver. I know it's Salt Lake, Utah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Could not think of the Jazz. Do we want to go back to our Rudy Gobert versus Donovan Mitchell discussion? I want to bring that up.
Doesn't look good for me right now.
I stood by him when the world turned their back on Rudy Gobert. I was there. If he
that's
has
funny
one
because you haven't
band,
brought this up in like 3 years.
I defended it last season.
Okay, all right. All right. Yeah, let's talk about Trae Young versus John Morant.
Oh, yeah, what a poverty bowl that is, dude.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. All right. That does it for me, Tim. What do you got for Media Corner?
Oh man, I have a stacked media corner.
Jeez.
I do. I went to the Independent Picture House, was going to see some other movie, but it was sold out, so I had to settle for Challengers. Mark, are you familiar with Challengers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So I went in with pretty low expectations, saw it just solo on like the night it came out. And 30 minutes in, I was locked in, dude. Wanted to quit the pod and just follow tennis full time. What is it? The score was fantastic by Trent Reznor, known from 9 Inch Nails and Social Network soundtrack. It was bumping, dude. It was a 10 out of 10 experience in a theater, and I would highly recommend seeing it in theater.
Nice. I have nothing for Media Corner, so keep going. You got more?
I do. Been really into a group, I believe, from Philadelphia called Sweeping Promises. It is a duo, and their latest album, Good Living is Coming for You, is a really interesting kind of like garage new wave album. 10 songs, 30 minutes, goes by, some great hooks and some great bass lines. Really enjoyable, not my normal style. And one last thing, since we're going to keep it going, Sentiment by Claire Rousset, female artist from Texas, I believe, and kind of does I would describe it as ambient emo. So there are certain songs, it's just a lot of wind chimes and faraway conversations, some great use of auto-tune. I don't know how to describe the album. I don't think it's for everyone, but if it is for you, I think you'll know within 3 songs, and it's a great foggy day album. Highly recommend.
Cool. All right. During that long Media Corner, Tim, I decided that I'm going to go back on what I said earlier about Star Bench Cup between LaMelo and Tyrese Maxey. Emotionally, I'm just not into it, Tim. Start LaMelo, baby. He's coming back next year. Hornets are winning a first-round playoff series behind LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. It's time, Tim. Let's get excited.
Oh, God, Mark. I'm listening to you like I'm at church, man. I'm shooting up. I'm pumped. I'm buying the hype.
All right, man. It's been real. We will be back with a live lottery reaction podcast next Sunday, I think. So everybody stay tuned for that. It's been real, Tim.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
It's been real, Liquor Mart. Be safe out there.
Peace.
Peace.